Today I had one of the best days of the month so far. And I was just shy of hitting my profit target for a payout in one account, but had another trade in another account that went for $1,700 after. And I'm completely okay with that. I'm going to get into and talk a little bit more as I get into the video about how my day went and how I was trading this morning on the ASFX stream with Austin and Evan and James, and how much discipline is needed and focus when you're trying to multitask on that level. So I've been on stream many times before, but I have an account that was basically 85% to profit target for a payout. I thought I could wrap it up this morning, get it to a payout, and head into the weekend like that. But as we started trading on stream and I tried to focus on my trades and to have a conversation and to be engaged with the audience, I realized this was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I ended up taking a trade, micromanaging a bit just to take profits off. Didn't go in with the size I wanted to because I just almost felt a little bit rushed. But I wasn't rushed. Everything happened so fast, and to try and have a conversation and to be in a trade for me is not something I'm used to, and it was very difficult to say the least. Either way, I took the trade. I micromanaged it a bit. I didn't get the profits I needed, and I ended up closing the trade out. So I was up $230 on the day, but I'm still about $700 away from hitting the goal for the payout on that account. So I decided to take a short quickly thereafter that I scalped for $130, which was kind of, again, very dangerous, because the trade could have turned on me and went the other way, and I would have dug into that buffer that I built to get to that payout profit target. So what did I do? I locked the count out immediately. I locked it out on stream. I told the guys, hey, I can feel it coming on. I'm getting it's just the whole, I think I can do this. I think I can get it done, and wanting to do it on stream and do it in front of everybody. And at the same time, Austin was in the same trade, but with a lot more size, and he ended up hitting his profit target that he needed to perfectly, where I micromanaged the trade, trying to get more, trying to take size off, do this and that. So, I already felt the emotions kicking in, and I felt that I needed to be aware of how I was feeling in the moment, and that's when I decided, hey, right on stream, I told the guys I locked the account out. I locked it out. I ended up coming off a stream, working on my daily report card, and seeing another trade present. I have another top one futures 150K account that I've taken some trades in earlier this week, kind of just some Asia session trades, and I actually made a big boo-boo in one of them and took a trade with too much size on right off the get-go. The very first trade I took, and it was down $2,000, and I ended up getting it back to break even. So I just put that account away. I didn't touch it. And I saw a long present, and I said, you know what? I have this account. My goal was to trade with bigger size. I'm going to go, now that I've increased the consistency target on that account by having the big wins, I had to take something with some size to keep that momentum going. And I said, you know what? Something's presenting. This is a beautiful setup. I'm going to take it. I went in heavy. I took it, and it played out beautifully. Let's get into the trades. First, we'll get into the morning, what I saw at the desk. Then we'll get into the trades themselves, and we'll wrap this video up, and we'll be done for the week. So let's have a look at what I was seeing. Coming to the desk in the morning, this price action, since we've had this gap up, we make a higher low here. But again, the sellers want to try and pull price back down below this tariff VWAP, which they've just failed to. And they had their one chance here, and you can see that they didn't get it. And then this is the 5-day moving average, Brian Shannon's indicator I have on. And you can see we're still back above it. The sellers get below it for just a brief period here, but boom, right back above it again. And then coming into the session this morning, as you can see in the overnight session, price kind of chops around, but we're above previous day's value area high. And then just before pre-market, we get a slide back down to the previous day's point of control. And you can see price just sits and finds support here. And it's roughly around the 5,500s, I believe. And we know that's a really, really strong area back here. And then even if you go further back here, you can see that, again, like I got the line up for the previous day's point of control, but look where it plays out. And it plays all the way back to the high, I believe, all the way back, and then the value area high is basically this move that we got up on the tariff pause day. So these are this is, a very interesting level. If we can break out of this, let's see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot of move to the upside. If we hold this previous day's point of control here at 5,500, I'm looking for something like this and up, or we could even see something like this and we get a move up again. If not, worst case scenario, the bear step in here and we get a push down to value area low. But again, even down here, we could find some support and come back up this way. So I'm looking anything in here today. But, in a perfect world scenario, I think we could do something like this, come up to the value area high, reject down again and up higher. Or even just look at the support we found at the previous day's New York VWAP. If we find some support here again, it would be interesting. And price actually did pretty much that. So let's look at the actual trades I took. So this was the first trade. I took this trade on stream live. And originally we were talking about getting in. Originally I was looking at shorts. And I go, if we can't hold this previous day's point of control, I could see something like this. And then I could see price coming down. But my issue with this short is we had New York's previous day, New York VWAP below us. And clearly earlier I showed you on the 15-minute chart, this was a clear level of support. So I would have to see something like this, come back up and then break through again. And then I would look to get short. But initially I was staring at shorts here. But one thing I noticed, the CVD was at about plus 3,000 at setting in this high into the open here. And even on this move all the way down, price came down, I think it was about, close to 30 points. The CVD moved down 700 points, something like that. Like it was down to 2,400. And I was expecting more of a move down. So, it was, the sellers weren't stepping in like I thought they were going to. As price chopped around here, it pulls back down, but then the CVD on this candle flips immediately back up to 3,000, 3,200. So I wanted to get long here, but, being on stream and trading around Austin and Evan and, some of these guys with more experience, they were looking at the same thing, but wanted to cautiously wait. Let a few more candles print. Let's get above the New York VWAP. This easily could be a lower high. And sorry. And yeah, a lower high and right here, and price could just do this and come back down. And for me, seeing the CVD flip that soon, as soon as this candle printed and we took the New York VWAP, I got in. A little premature, but I got in. I could have waited for this move here, so I had to ride this out. But for me, getting in here, I knew that I had the New York now. I had opening range low, previous day's point of control, and previous day's New York VWAP below me. So I had plenty of lines of defense for me to get out of this trade. If price slid through these two, opening range low and previous day's point of control, I'm out. But we could find support here, we could find support here, we could find, you know what I mean? And look what happens. We find support here. And again, the CVD is still now, is getting more to the green, more to the positive side. And as the CVD is rising, I'm sitting here in this trade. I believe Austin got in here somewhere, or even down here maybe, better price than I did. And as price pushes back up, I start to take profits. I'm a little bit on edge that I'm trading live. I'm so close to hitting my profit target on this account. It kind of led me to, have a bit of anxiety, to be honest. So I started taking some size off, and Austin beautifully called it. And he said, as soon as these orders fill at 20, I'm out at 20. These orders fill at 20, Austin's out. What do? I stay in the trade for another candle to print. It pulls back down on me. I cut the trade here. I closed the trade here, sorry. And I'm out of the trade. And I'm up. Sorry, it wasn't 317. I think it was 204 or 210 or something, or 190 on the trade. 100. Let's call it $200. I'm $200 on the trade, and I could kind of feel that I was I wasn't super stoked about the way I handled it, and it was just being on stream and the pressure of trying to perform in front of everybody and having to not take a loss, I guess, or even just a loss on stream. But I don't take a lot of trades when I get on stream. It's something that I haven't been comfortable with, and here I was comfortable, and I just, I micromanage it. But at the end of the day, I finished green, so I got to be happy with that, and I got to be kind to myself. I am my hat goes off to Evan and James and Austin, these guys, for trading on stream. It's something else. Like, you know, it takes something to be able to be engaging with the audience, focusing on a trade, managing your trade, looking at the charts, you know, and just it's pretty damn cool. And I got to give those guys a lot of credit for doing that. Anyway, so I'm up, let's say $200 on that trade. And we're sitting there. Austin hit his payout on this same trade, and now, you know, he's talking about the payout. I'm looking at the charts. Austin goes to actually run to the washroom and looking at the charts, and then I see this price. You know, this is where I got out up here, and all of a sudden now the CVD flipped again, and you could see the price just pull down here. We got through the New York VWAP. I just had the urge to get into this short. I wanted to get in here. I waited for a break of the previous day's point of control, but I should have got in back. This was such a strong move. I should have got in here or even up here, but either or, I get in. I'm in 5 micros. This candle prints. It takes the previous day's New York VWAP. I immediately, once this candle closes, move my stop down to there, get stopped out. I'm up $131. I realized, you know, I had really no business being in the scalp. It was kind of a risky move I took on. I could have lost, you know, I could have ate away some of my profits away for the day and some into my into what I've been working on all weeks. So I'm up 130 on that, and this is when I realized, hey, time to lock the account. I'm feeling the emotions getting the best of me, and I just want to finish the week strong. So I don't need to take any damage in this account. I'm up 300. I'm $600 away from my profit target. Monday, Tuesday next week before Tampa, I can try and get that done. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it does, it does. So let's just, you know, finish the week strong. And that was a pretty awesome feeling, locking the account and being like, you know what, guys, I'm up $300. I'm good for the day. I'm $300 closer to my target, not $300 further away from my target. So all in all, just great morning. You know, after I look back and thought about it, I was like, pretty proud of yourself. You did this on stream. You manage your emotions well. You felt the tilt coming on. You decided to lock your account out and be done with it. And yeah, we wrapped up the stream. It was great. And I was at the desk working on some stuff, and I'm watching another trade present. This account's locked out. And so I decided I have that other 150K top 1 futures account. I decided, you know what, this is just, the price action is beautiful here. And this was that short that I got out on. Price pulls a little lower, and, you know, like I said, it's going to find, I found its support earlier at previous day's New York VWAP. I found it again there. Price pulls back higher. We take the New York VWAP. We come back down, opening range low a day VWAP. The buyers step back in again. We get it back up. Now we're above, you know, all 3 VWAPs. The sellers step in again. Again, we're here at this low a day VWAP, New York VWAP. Buyer step back in. I said, you know what, if you look at this, you got a higher low, like, it's just beautiful. This is trending up, and there's these orders sitting at 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way up. There's blocks of orders sitting on the liquidity. And I know if we can get above the value area high, this is that level from last Wednesday's tariff pause right here. If we can get above this level and hold it, this thing's got nothing to do but to go up. It's just my personal opinion. I come into the trade, I go heavy. I go 30 micros, basically 3 minis. I want to trade this account heavy. I want to trade, I'm looking for $2,000 days out of the account. I'm looking to get it up to 10 grand before I look to take a payout. So I have, I have big goals with this account. I want to try something different. I want to get it to quite a large amount of a buffer before I take a payout. So this is going to be the next goal to set after I hit the goal on the account that I'm almost at right now. So anyways, I get into this trade. I got to stop down here. Again, I have multiple lines of defense to really debate on what I want to do. If this thing gets back down to here, I don't want to be in it again. We found support here, but I think the next time if this wanted to do this and came back down and did this, the sellers are gonna, if the sellers get back down to this level again and they, you know, put their foot on the gas, price is gonna come back down, I think. So I don't want to be in it. I would look to even cut it at previous day's point of control. You know, it's been a very contentious area all the way back here. So the sellers are trying. They're really trying, but they seem exhausted. I don't know why. Maybe from the last week of maybe coming in on that Easter Monday and putting all the work in, while the buyers, it seemed like, took the day off that day and they got their rest. So, but yeah, And price, pulls back down, like I said, and it just kind of chops around in here, but it's holding this opening range low beautifully. And this opening range low is 5,500, which is just a round number. If you go back, it's a clean number back on the chart. It's a very either a level of support or resistance, but clearly today it was a level of support. Something else I noticed, if you took any long position at 5,500, you were making money. So that was the price. Price pays. It's something we talk about. So, anywhere if you got in long there, you got in long there, you got in long even there. Here would have been the best price of the day probably, but so on long 30 micros we get this chop. Price pushes higher. Once we take the value area high with a little bit of bullish momentum here, I take 10 of the 30 micros off, 1/3. I want some size off. I want to move my stop up. I bring my stop up now to the New York VWAP. I got some gains on the day. If this thing comes back and stops me out, break even, I'm okay. I'll be up. I think I was up $600 or some 685. And you know what? I was good with that. It's Friday. And what happens? Price finds support here at the opening range high. We get another move up, and then we come back down. Again, the opening range high, clear level of support. And then on this move up, once we got above this level again, I decided to take another 1/3 off. Price could easily come back up to here and want to do this on me or something. It's just getting later into the session, and it's Friday. The volume's going to drop eventually in my mind, and you know what? You just got to be happy with taking what you can out of the market. And I'm stoked now because I'm up, and I bring my stop up now even a little bit higher, and I'll let the trade play out, and I'm going to be, any which way I look at it, I'm going to be up. I think it was, I don't know, close to $1,000 or something. And she chops around some more, and I'm kind of watching it. I'm walking away from the desk. I'm doing some stuff. I'm coming back. And as price takes to 50s, I decide to take 3 off, and I want to leave 2 as a runner. There's orders at 55.60, and there was a naked point of control up at 56.80 that I got on my chart, and it was just kind of dreaming that, imagine price went there. And I actually pulled, so I take the 3 off here, and I pulled my stop up to this previous higher high. And I just figured, you know what, I could put it down at this pin, but I think if it gets back down to here, it's going to come below. It's going to, you know what I mean? If it takes this level, we're going to get a move back down to here. And what happens on a Friday afternoon? Like, Trump news comes out about a tariff, something. Like, how many people got in here, rode this up, moved their stop, who knows what they did, right? Or not even just had a stop at break even. Like, come on, like, do you know how many people bought right here as you get this break, retest, and push higher? Lots. What would happen? You'd get stopped out. This is what I hate about the tariff stuff, and you gotta remind yourself it's not your fault. Anyways, I gotta stop here. News comes in. I get stopped out on this pin. I'm up $1,700 on this trade. I was trying to go for $2,000. At the end of the day, I'm up $1,700. Imagine I left my stop down here. I would have hit break even. I would have lost, gave back everything on those last 2 micros. So again, you got to be content. You got to know on a Friday afternoon, it just takes one silly tweet, something to come out, and price could just do something. And especially after getting a move like this, the sellers are looking for any excuse to try and bring this thing back down. And they found an excuse, and look what they did. They pulled it back down, and here at the New York VWAP, the buyer said, not a chance. This is not going to happen. And what happens? Price pushes straight back up, and we get up to, I think, 55.60 by the end of the day. So all in all, a bullish day in the markets. Price trending beautifully. Days like this, everybody should be making money. And if you're not, you should really be learning and sitting back and wondering what happened, what went wrong, what could I have done differently, and really go through and examine it. Because I've had many trending beautiful days where every single person around me made money except me. So what happens? Be kind to yourself. That's what I always say, and just learn from the mistakes. And let's have just a quick peek at the calendar. I've been going on here for a couple of minutes about these trades. As you can see, I'm just a little excited, and I had a lovely day with Miles we went to the aquarium after, it was beautiful. That's how I'd love to end my Friday, have some trades and look at my week. It's beautiful. I can't complain. Right? This is my month in that account, and it's just it's That's why I want my calendar to always look and never will, because this is the other account. Oh no, sorry, that's my old Tradeify account. This is the other account, right? But still, finishing the week up. I had a big boo-boo day here in the Asian market, trying to be some kind of professional trader, or thinking I knew the market, or I was a market maker. And I just, slowly put some size on and made some trades, and got it back up to being, I'm up 2K in the account. So, like I said, the profit target in this one is 10K. That's the goal I've set. Let's get this one first to where I need it to be. This account needs to be at... That's not right. Right now the account is at 31 or 3,200. I need to be at 3750. So I need 600 exactly. 599 is what I think I need in the account to hit that profit target for the payout. So looking forward to the weekend. Gonna work on my social content. Make some videos for you guys to watch, and stuff for you guys to enjoy. And that's it, man. I'm done. So enjoy your weekend. I'm always grateful. You guys are always been a big part of this channel and helping me grow. I've hit 30,000 views. I've done things never I thought were possible, making these videos. So super cool. I've had some great conversations. I'm going to start doing some one-on-one coaching. I've already been talking with a few guys that have been into the videos, and yeah, it's super cool. So anyways, enjoy the weekend. I can keep going and going. And yeah, click, subscribe, comment, feedback, everything. You know what? I appreciate it all, right? So enjoy the weekend.